Hello everybody and welcome to Civilicitopedia. Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. In this video, I'm taking a look at the Ain Ghazal statues dating back roughly 8,500 to 9,500 years ago to the pre-pottery Neolithic period of the ancient Levant. What was discovered was a number of monumental lime plaster and reed statues found at the ancient site of Ain Ghazal in Jordan. In total, 15 statues and 15 busts were discovered between 1983 and 1985 in two underground caches created around 200 years apart. They're amongst the earliest large-scale representations of the human form and are some of the most incredible examples of prehistoric art ever discovered. Experts believe they represented the ancestors of people who lived in a specific settlement, yet their actual purpose remains unclear. We find two types of figures: full statues and busts. Interestingly, some of the busts are two-headed, as shown here. We can see that the art is skillfully crafted, and it is clear that a great deal of work went into their creation. The heads are well modeled, and the eyes are wide open, showing bitumen-outlined irises. In the collection, we find representations of men, women, and children. Male and female reproductive organs are not included, but we can identify the female figures by the fact that some statues have breasts. They were made by modeling moist plaster from limestone on a reed core, using plants that grew on the banks of the Zarqa River. It was a bit like making a scarecrow. The skeleton was made first, about which they coiled twine and cordage for strength. The reed and twine decayed over the millennia, leaving plaster shells with a hollow interior. The lime plaster was formed by heating limestone to temperatures between 600 and 900 degC, which when combined with water created a dough-like substance that can be modeled. When dry and hard, the plaster becomes water-resistant, which stopped them from deteriorating. Each specific part of the body, the head, the torso, and the legs, were formed from separate bundles of reeds, which were then assembled and covered in plaster. The heads were made with extra care, using multiple layers of plaster, eyes made of white chalk and ringed with black paint, and as stated, the irises were outlined with bitumen. The heads also had some sort of wig. The statues are tall but not human size, with the largest statue being around 1 meter height. They are also disproportionately flat, about 10 centimeter thickness, but they were designed to stand up, possibly anchored to the floor in some way. But how did they survive for so long? By rights, they really should not be in the archaeological record, yet they were found in fantastic condition. This is likely because when they were made, they were not displayed for very long, and they appear to have been intentionally buried not long after being created. They could have been used in a specific religious or cultic ceremony, with their burial marking the end. They did once stand up though, as seen by the analysis of dirt and paint samples retrieved from the bottom of the statues. They are also thought to have been purposefully broken up before burial. The site they were discovered at was occupied from at least 7,250 to 5,000 BC, and in its heyday, which was the first half of the 7th millennium BC, the settlement covered 25 to 37 acres of land with an estimated population of 3,000. The archaeological record at this specific site sees a real transition from hunting and gathering to farming, so this is one site that is of high importance to the human story. We know that human burial was done with great care, as well as ritual. Skulls were often plastered, and seated figurines surrounded grave sites. It seems there was a belief in life after death, and objects as well as burials do seem to imply that people were involved in ceremonial and cultic activities. The statues could well have had a ceremonial significance, but maybe only for one specific occasion. They were carefully made, but they didn't stand for long, were purposefully broken up and buried quite quickly. The 15 statues and 15 busts were buried in pits that were dug into the floors of abandoned houses, and similar statues were also found at Jericho and Nahal Himar. But these were in a fragmented state. Interestingly, the statues were buried aligned east to west, again clearly for a reason, but what that reason is, we just don't know. All we know is that these statues did have a used life, meaning they were clearly made to fulfill a particular purpose, whatever that was, and they seem to have a very specific, almost ritualistic burial. But we really don't know a great deal more. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Civilicitopedia. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.